So it's 2:01. Let's start the webinar. So first of all, welcome everybody and thank you for joining today's webinar. Maybe a few logistics. If you want to ask questions, if you have questions during the webinar, please post them in the Q&A session. You have a panel in here, F&A or Q&A, depending on the country you're in. Post them there. If it's possible, we will answer them right away, but I think it's better to have them all postponed to the end. If we can't answer anything or some of the questions, we will send you answers later. We know who asked them, so we can do that. Also, this webinar will be recorded and will be made available for the participants as a recording, and you can then share also with colleagues that might be interested. And I would say now let's start. So welcome to the test management webinar, test management in Codebeamer. Maybe next slide, Safa. This is a brief agenda that we do today. So introduction is my part, then my colleague Safa will take over and make you go through a few steps in Codebeamer. He will show you some theoretical things on a PowerPoint base so that we're all on the same level. Then he'll talk about the test management and demonstrate that in the solution. What he will touch upon is creating test cases, linking test cases to requirements within Codebeamer, also executing those test cases in test runs and with test sessions. And that's the practical part of it. And then you will have a Q&A session at the end if time allows. That's the agenda for today. So maybe next slide. And to make sure you know who you are looking at. So Zafer, my colleague, Zafer Geig, I've known him for about, I think, 20 years, right? So we both have been working at MKS, at PTC, and now at Nanga Systems. So he's an expert for 20 years in the ALM business. He's a senior consultant at Nanga Systems. Myself, I'm the sales lead at Nanga Systems, 22 years of experience of ALM and MBSE. And we will guide you through the webinar today. So next slide. Just a few words about Nanga Systems. Nanga System was founded 2014. At the moment, we've got a bit more than 60 employees. And you can see here in the colored red areas where these offices are located. Most of them are sales and services offices. When you look at the Ukraine all the way in the middle, this is an office we have where we have development work done. Hence, all the depending on all the situation, but people are really working for us, and they're happy that they can be distracted with this. Customers about 350 plus. It's a very volatile number going up. So that's about the current state. So next slide. What does Nanga Systems do? We do consulting, we do software reselling, and we do our own products. And it's all around research and development, so all solutions in that area. You can see who we partner with. So our main partner is PTC. That's also the vendor of Codebeamer, and that's what we're talking about today. We've got other partnerships that you can see listed here, and we've made them or we've closed them because this is solutions and partners that we always encounter when we are in research and development departments, when we see some infrastructures as customers. Let me give you a very rough overview for those who haven't maybe heard of Codebeamer yet. Codebeamer is an ALM software platform. ALM stands for Application Lifecycle Management. So it manages all the artifacts that belong to your applications through the lifecycle, starting with requirements, ending with the test and validation. It also offers capabilities of risk management, and it covers different process methods like DevOps, Agile engineering. And of course, configuration management and also strategic reuse of artifacts that you might use for different product lines, different products you have, and different customers. You can see the interface on the right. In today's webinar, Zafer is going to concentrate on the test management part and show us a few use cases. First of all, he will introduce it on a PowerPoint and then show it in the live demo. So having this said, Zafer, I pass on to you.
Okay, thank you. So also warmly welcome from my side to this Nanga Systems webinar. And honestly, I will now close my video so we can concentrate on the slides. Yes, my name is Zafer Geig. I'm a senior consultant at Nanga Systems, as Lars already introduced me. I hope you had a few weeks ago already good insight and more. So in our webinar on Codebeamer and requirement management in particular. If not, you can watch the recording on our website. This webinar is also available later as a recording, as Lars mentioned that. So today we want to extend the insight by looking at the test management in Codebeamer. So also a short introduction regarding the test management. Test management is a structured approach to managing all aspects of the testing lifecycle. It involves planning, executing, and analyzing tests to ensure products meet predefined quality standards. This systematic process is vital for identifying and correcting issues early in the development cycle, leading to higher quality products, reduced development costs, and improved project efficiency. So regarding the importance itself, surely, there are multiple reasons for that. Firstly, it significantly enhances quality assurance by identifying and rectifying issues early in the development process. Secondly, it drives collaboration by providing a centralized platform where team members can track and manage testing activities. This centralized approach ensures that all stakeholders are on the same page, thereby minimizing miscommunications and errors. Moreover, effective test management plays a critical role in risk mitigation by systematically identifying potential problems and addressing them promptly. Additionally, it ensures compliance regulatory standards, which is particularly important in industries where adherence to strict guidelines is mandatory. By maintaining detailed records and providing traceability, test management helps organizations meet regulatory requirements and facilitates easier auditing processes. So the benefits. Test management offers several key benefits that contribute to the overall success of a project. First and foremost, it improves product quality by ensuring that all requirements are thoroughly tested and met. This comprehensive testing process helps in delivering products that are free of defects and perform as expected. Secondly, test management can lead to significant cost reductions. By reusing test resources and automating repeated tasks, organizations can save time and resources. This not only reduces the overall cost at development, but also frees up resources to focus on other important areas. Thirdly, a well-implemented test management process can shorten the product development cycle. By optimizing quality checks at every stage, it ensures that issues are identified and addressed promptly, thereby accelerating the overall development timeline. Fourthly, test management helps in maintaining regulatory compliance. By providing detailed documentation and traceability, it simplifies the process of meeting regulatory standards and conducting audits. And lastly, delivering high-quality products that meet customers' expectations gives organizations a competitive advantage. Satisfied customers are more likely to remain loyal and to recommend the product to others, thereby enhancing the organization's market position. So the test management process. The test management process involves several critical steps, which plays a vital role in ensuring the overall quality of the product. The first step is surely the planning, which includes risk analysis, test estimation, and the organization of the testing activity itself. During this phase, potential risks are identified and a detailed plan is developed to address them. The next step is authoring, where test cases and scripts are created and linked to the requirements. This ensures that all aspects of the requirements are covered and tested thoroughly. The first step is managing, which involves organization test assets into the suites. This helps in maintaining a structured and organized approach to testing. The fourth step is execution, which involves monitoring, controlling testing activities, managing issues, reporting progress, and conducting regression testing. This phase ensures that testing is carried out as planned and any issues that arise are promptly addressed. Finally, to analyze the steps, involves evaluating test results and identifying trends. This helps in understanding the effectiveness of the testing process and identifying areas for improvement. But there are also some challenges, and to reduce the challenges is truly also important. So one of the primary challenges is the potential for human error, especially during manual handovers for test and validation. These errors can lead to overlooked issues and compromised quality. Test management software mitigates this risk by leveraging automation to reduce human error. And the next one is also, additionally, many point solutions are not equipped to handle the complexities of modern testing requirements. They often lack the necessary features to manage testing and validation effectively, particularly in environments with complex requirements and strict regulatory compliance needs. This weakness can lead to inefficiencies and increased risk. Ensure that your tools are able to fulfill your test management requirements. So as it's like a conclusion, or Codebeamer provides a holistic test management functionality that can address the above challenges. This integrates quality objectives into daily activities, ensure that tests are aligned with overall project goals. One of the key features of Codebeamer is its ability to automate various testing tasks, significantly reducing the potential for human error. This automation, combined with the robust parameterization capabilities, enables efficient and effective testing processes. Codebeamer also provides all-round visibility into the testing process, allowing teams to track progress, identify issues, and make informed decisions. By providing a predictable release cycle and driving a culture of quality, Codebeamer helps organizations consistently deliver high-quality products. In conclusion, effective test management is essential for delivering high-quality, compliant, and competitive products. It ensures that all aspects of the testing are systematically managed, reducing risk and enhancing overall product quality. By implementing a structured test management process, organizations can improve collaboration, reduce costs, shorten development cycle, and maintain regulatory compliance. The use of an advanced tool such as Codebeamer should be considered if the goal is to optimize the test management process with robust automation and a comprehensive overview. By doing so, you can ensure that your testing processes are efficient, effective, and aligned with your overall project goals. Now let's take a look at the test management data model. So we can see here now the data model. That's like here on the left side, the requirements. So as you already mentioned, that I was able to see also the requirements from the webinar from Laszlo, my colleague, a few weeks ago. We can see now that we will then able to create the references to the test cases. These test cases can include pre-action parameters, post-action, the parameter self, and the test steps. So to break down the test case in deeper level. It is possible to define test sets with different test cases, and it's also possible, as you can see here, that you can also include another test set. So you can build up a clustered test set combination. And also it is possible, what we also then see later in the live demo, to define in a test configuration different test sets or one or different test sets, and also add single test cases to the test configuration itself. And this all can be then run in the test run, where you can then able to create a verdict for each of the single test cases, and especially also for the test steps, which is then can be existing in the test step itself. The test execution can be run in online directly on the web UI, or by exporting to an Excel, like offline, when you have no capability to be online with your system. Surely you can also see here that it's possible to directly create a defect or bug when you have I would say, an issue by executing the test. And at the least, there's also the possibility to monitoring all that topics, especially to check the project capability and the stability. So what we will look today is, we will create today in the live demo some references from the requirement to the test cases. We will create from one and more test cases in a test set. We will also then run one of the test set in a test run. We can, when we create the test run, also add test configuration to the test, create test to the request tests. And surely we will also using then parameters to reusing test cases in a different context, so that we are able to add parameters and run it as needed with the parameters. So then I will switch to the system. Okay. So we have now the overview from the web UI or the UI from the Codebeamer. I directly navigate to the trackers. So we hence can see now the different trackers, what we have here. So we have here the, oh, wait a minute, I switched to, it's already English. So we have our requirements trackers here. We have our validation trackers, so the test cases. And so therefore I will start off with the requirements. So we have here our requirements. Now I will create a test case. So I will use then here, this is one of the methods directly from the requirement. Click here to create a new downstream reference. And I can now create, as you see, I have the options, like for the Codebeamer Test Management webinar project, what I created here for this session, like for the hardware test cases. Now I have here the mask for the test case itself. So I can now add actions, like what should be created before we will run the test case, what of information or what of activities need to be done after the test case. I can define here, like if the test case is reusable, this is important to have declare this test case as a for reusable factor later on. Here's surely the name, so that will take over from the requirement directly. So I can, with the prefix of the test, so I can adjust it as needed. Here will be then the description self. Here we will later add then the test parameters, but this is then the next step. So I can save it as it is now. So now my one test case is created for this requirement. I can also see that when I go into detail, into the traceability, I see then here my test case. So I can do that also from another aspect. I can directly create the test case itself. So I go to the tracker, go to the hardware test cases. So I now see here like already existing test cases, and also the test case what I created now before. So imagine I have already some test cases. Now I will assign them to the requirements. I can go I'm now in the document view. I can edit one. Here I'm go in the edit view. And here with the verifies, this is the reference type or the reference element for the relationship or for the requirement. I can now click on the pen icon, and now I see the requirements which can be assigned to this test case. So now I choose like that one, the LCD board. And that's it. Oh, wait a minute. Add. So save. Now I have the reference from the test case to the requirement. So when I look now to the requirement again, I see also then here the traceability to the test case. Okay, so this is how to create the traces or the references between the requirement and the test cases. I have also the possibility to using multi-edits. That means I can assign many of them in one time. So when I go to the test case again, selecting view, and then I can do the mass edit. And I can add here verifies and add the certain requirement. Example, the IC header. Add, save. Now I assigned to one requirement, now 5 test cases. Good. This is the references between requirements and test cases. Now I will run one of the test cases. So I go into the test case again. Okay, I will answer your question later. I already on, okay. So now how I can create a test run, or how I can assign given a verdict to that related test cases. I can go in detail here, and you can see here there's like an icon. There's an icon with the play and plus button, and it's called new test run. So I can directly create a test run from the certain test case. I have the options here for different options. This I will not go too much in detail because otherwise I will leave the scope of that webinar. But the important thing, you have the options for different roles or different reasons. You can using the assign who should be assigned, also one or many, and also if you including test steps or if you're including also the children of the test cases. So if there is a structure test case. But for our in configuration, we just leave it as it is. I need to, so. Now I have my test run just with one single test case. I'll go back to the test run. So I have the option to running the test now here with the buttons run. And I will do that now. So now I can see the test steps and also from the test case. So that means this test case has including test steps, and these are 3 of them. You can also see a counter, a time counter, that because here it's possible to Codebeamer provides to measure the time for how it long to run a test case or to run a test run, especially for each of the test cases. Now I'm able to give a verdict for each of the test steps. So like here I can give a verdict like passed or failed. I can give also textual information about the result. So if it's failed, why it's failed, what kind of information. This is a rich text field, so you can also add it. Attachment is also images. I just run as needed here. Also the next one and the next one. And if all our steps are executed, I can save it. I can give it also final conclusion. Everything is working as expected and save. So that was it. I run the test run is done. It is automatically finished. And I can see also in the details when I look into the test case, also the test run and also the status and the result. Yes. Now this was a single test case. So this is not the, like we'll say the common way to make test management. Normally you will have a bundle of test cases, or not a bundle, a few test cases to run a certain test run. So that means I can also create in a list view, I can select also many test cases and we can run directly in a test run, or make it more structured. So I can say, select the test cases and define it, create it in a test run, a test set. So going to my dotted menu point, and then I can say, create, add selected test case to test set. Also here, it asks me if, because some of the test cases, if this test case has include some child elements, if I take to ask if it's go into recursively and take over also that, or just the selected items. I choosing now only the selected items. And here are some test set in the history. But I say add test case to select the test sets. Okay, wait a minute. No, that was not the point. Create test set, that was wrong. Sorry, apologize. So I add here the selected ones only. Here I'm choosing the project, the tracker, and say create new test set. So this is the mask of the test set. I have here some mandatory fields like the name, test set group 1, given also description like what this should be cover that test set. So by like maybe integration tests. And also here it's possible to define test parameters. And here are also, can see now the test cases and the additional test set if it's there. So I also here a mandatory field is called sequential. Sequential means if when test run, I have the option to skip test cases, like to do it later or not, maybe because it's not affecting here. But I can choose when I say sequential false, then I have the possibility to skip. But if I choose like true, then I need to create a verdict for each of the test cases. So I cannot skip one of the test cases here. So this is here the option for that. And I can also have the option to take over here from the library, from the test sets here. This is like a generic area where I can reuse then elements like the test sets, and so also the test plans. Okay, now I would create the test set. I am looking at the test set, what I created. Here's our test set group. I have the details here, the test cases, which is run. surely there is not run yet, so therefore there's also empty. And as you also see, I have also here the new test run, so I can also run from here this test run self. This is one of the options what I also showed in the slide, where I can create from a few different test cases the test set. I also can create many test sets and also define the structures, like in a structured hierarchy, like to have a, I will say, minor test sets and also master test set example. So this is also possible to build a test set with different other test sets. And now we will run the test set and also define a test configuration. So therefore, I create now a test configuration. Go to my trackers. I can also, there's two ways to create a test configuration. So I can directly create first from the blank. I just say create new type. I had just add here now just to imagine what is possible with the test configuration or with the configuration. Here in this case, I just add like 2 additional fields, drop-down list, like hardware version, related platform. But it's also possible to depend on your environment or what you really need to really add your different fields to cover the configuration elements, what you approach. I will now name the test configuration 1. Like we'll give in here also some information, hardware in the loop. And after I create it, I am able to add then the elements. So, no, that was okay. So now we're down to the test set. Go detail. Create test run. And you can see here now, I have here the, can here, right? Okay, I need to, I don't choose. No, it should be. Okay. I don't know why this may be a small bug. However, so I was able now to choose the configuration here to the test run. So you can see here from the test run, now I have choose the test configuration. It's also possible to choose more than one. Then it will be create for each test configuration, each test run, so that it's possible that you can also assign then each of the test runs to a different person, because in the context of the different test configuration. And I can also run that now this test run and give him then the different verdicts. Also here, see in this case this test case has no test steps, so it just can pass. And also here I able to skip here, and this means the test cases or the test set the sequential was false, because otherwise I was not able to skip. And I can pass also here and also fail. When I fail, it's like given verdict like as a fail, I can give here the conclusion, and it's an option to directly create a bug. So that means that I can start here with that directly with the defect management. In this case, I will leave it because it is not part of the webinar. It just should go give an overview what is everything is possible. Save, and I can also then, what is also possible, say I will now pause this run. Maybe it's now shortly 6 o'clock in the evening, and I will go ahead with that tomorrow when I come back to the work. And give you also comment why. So that now you can see I have already partially a metric about that, and like the next day I can go ahead and say just give a run, and it will go ahead on that where I stopped. And also the timing will then here go ahead with the accounting then since when I start again. Or I can also end the run, give a final conclusion. And it's finished. So, okay. So this was now the combination of the test sets, the test configuration in a test run. And now what we also look is the parameter, how to define parameter. There are two ways to add parameters in the test cases. First one, we look to the manual one. So going to the test case or so I choose again here, create a test run from selected. So oh, sorry, I need to add it in the test set. That was my fault. Test set with parameters. Here I have the option now define the parameters directly in the wiki. That means I create a table, call it now like here. Say like I will say value A, value B, like stands for like, and you can add here the values as you need, like I will say water deep, or example here, length. I can here say 20 or 200 meters, 300 meters, 400 meters. And here and also here, like say 12 centimeter. So now I can save it. Oh, description missing. So the point is, this will not surely to use the parameters. I need also adjust then the test case itself. So in this case, I added here this test case here, going to the description. And the parameters, is how to use the parameters, like use, please, the value It is the dollar icon, brackets. I don't know the English word of the geschweifte Klammer.
Brackets.
And yeah, and here I will say like value A and water deep. You can see it is a used parameter. That is recognizing that there's a parameter is used. And when I run now that test set, and when the test run here, you can now see it's automatically create for one single test case 3 entries to define that I'm able to define or add a verdict for each of the test case with the different parameter. So that means depends on which of the parameters are you using in the test cases. When you run the test set, it automatically makes like I just selected 3 test cases. It makes increasing the size depends on which of the elements are using a parameter that you are able to define for each of the test cases with a specific parameter to also add a verdict for that. So, and if we can run that, we can also see then this here, the information of the parameter itself. Like in this case, please use value 200 meters. So I see here the parameter. I can say pass. The next one is the 300 parameter pass. Like 400 meter will fail. Given defect or information. And now the fourth one is the regular one where I don't use parameters example. So, and I can also pass and fail. So the other way to add parameters is by adding an Excel, but this is also then possible, and it's also used in the not maybe on the scope, but now able to also add here in the documents. You see here the test parameters. You can add a Excel file with the tables of the parameters what you want to use, and this then also available not only in the test set, so it's a global available in the project, or maybe in this project. So that means you can define parameter documents in Excel, which can be used from different test sets and also from the different test configurations or the test cases. Yes.
Super.
So this is just finally from just to also have from the starting point, so from requirement, when you're looking now to the requirement perspective, you will also see then how is the status of each requirements. So the requirements tracker has additional to the test case trackers, the test coverage view. When I run the test coverage view, I can then just run it as it is. I can see then also then some of the metrics. Oh, sorry, and here, sorry, I need to run again. I can here also split then here the details of that cell. So that means I can see directly also with the test coverage browser from the requirement view how it's going on, how was the test, how was passed, failed, or successful or not, and also here some of the details. So to complete the cycle from the requirement perspective.
Perfect. So I think that was the scope of the webinar today, right, Safa?
Yes, there was a question from Johannes Reisenberger.
Yes.
Oh, sorry.
There's actually two questions, and
Yeah.
we know each other anyway, so that should be fine.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah. The point is, yeah, how it's a drag and drop. Partially, you can also using drag and drop by when you like side-by-side view of the like requirements and the test case. Surely there's then by using the dotted menu point, but it is also possible to add from the when I like to add when you have the reuse factor, to use the library browser to add the test cases or test sets from another one. Like, let me also demonstrate that shortly. So when I create now a test sets, and here you can see here some test sets was already existing. One is created from my side, the other ones are already existing, and I can just drag and drop here. And you see also with the green check mark, now I can drop that. Now I can, yeah, so that I are able to add existing test cases, test sets here, and also possible to choosing the, yeah, okay, there's only test sets. So the point is when you want to use reusable when you have the reused approach, you should then definitely define test sets. Otherwise, it makes not really sense. Usually, you can also copy and paste, but this is not really recommended, or also not really the way to do that. I hope that was okay from the.
Maybe for the sake of time, Zafer,
Yes.
we might run into some constraints. So, so for the first question that we received, drag and drop is possible. For example, using a library function. Also, the second question that we have received from the document view, do you know what has been executed and what is pending for documentation? You can do that by filtering downstream references. I would say let us answer these in detail with some screenshots afterwards, so we know who to address these questions to, and then you will get some details from our side. Maybe we can set up another call if that's of interest, or have another meeting. So we'd be happy to do that. Yeah. Super. So first of all, thank you, Zafer, for the demonstration today. Thank you for all the attendees. Like I said, we will get back to we have got 3 open questions, or 3 questions at the moment. We will get back with some detailed screenshots. And like I said, we'd be happy to have another discussion about this. And like Zafer said, this is scratching the surface. There's a lot of more details, a lot more depth in this test management area that we could elaborate on. Feel free to invite us. Feel free to have a Teams meeting with us or just a call. We'd be happy to dive into details with you, depending on the use cases that you're trying to address. For now, thank you very much again. Thank you for all the attendees. And I hope it was a good show, so you can use some of the information. The video will be posted. You'll be informed about this, so you can download the video and reuse or rewatch the webinar, or also share it with colleagues if they'd be interested. Super.
Yeah. Also from my side, thank you for joining, and also I hope it was interesting for you to see more. Yeah.
Sounds like it. There's questions for more, so it looks good.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you very much, everybody. And
take care to all.
Have a nice afternoon. Thank you and bye-bye.
Bye.